Luck is relative, right? Luck takes a lot of persistence, and you got to have done all the work and be in the right place at the right time in order for luck to really be able to happen. And I'm a firm believer in that. And
welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Nguyen,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in any market. Hey, today, guys and gals, we've got an absolute rock star coming from Raleigh, North Carolina, Gretchen Coley with the Coley Group. Gretchen, thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to have you here.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
100%. So we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. We know you guys are cranking business out there in North Carolina, and that's exactly why we want to have you on the show. You know, one thing we love to do is feature people that are having great success in this industry. And let me tell you something, I've seen your report card. You are one of those people.
You know, I took it from straight C's to straight A's, man.
You certainly did. You certainly did. So let's talk about that a little bit. Are you from Raleigh originally?
So I grew up in South Carolina. I went to school at University of North Carolina in Charlotte. So I made a short trip up to Charlotte and then met my husband and moved to Raleigh after we got married. So I've been here for 21 years. It's kind of like being from here, but I grew up in South Carolina.
I love it. Well, that's where that Southern charm comes from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the twang.
I was what I say. I can hear it.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm from Texas. I go anywhere and they're like, "Where are you from?" Texas. I'm like, Texas doesn't sound like this. This is South
it's
Carolina.
South Carolina, definitely.
This is South Carolina, man.
It is. It is.
Yeah, we're Texas. And, you know, it's a rare occasion that you run into somebody that has a real accent. I think it's because most of us here aren't locals. We come from, you are, David. You're actually, you were born right here in Texas. That's right. I'm a Kansas boy originally, and I came out here about 24 years ago now. So, you know, at this point, I feel like I'm a resident. I'm part of the state. So
totally, man. I think once you hit the double digits, 20-year mark, like I think you're good.
Once you pass the amount of time you lived in your primary state and the new state, this is home.
I agree.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you came out there from you said Georgia, is that right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Man, I'm way off. So South Carolina, and now you're in North Carolina, which I had the pleasure of getting up there earlier this year with David, actually. We came into Asheville, North Carolina, and had just an amazing time. It's beautiful up there.
It is. North Carolina has so many beautiful spots from the coast to the mountains and everything in between. You know, it's got a little bit of everything, which is why people love it so much.
Well, let's talk about the real estate out there. How is the real estate market in 2023 we just came off of?
Well, the real estate market in 2023 was a little rougher than we wanted it to be. I'm sure y'all felt the same thing.
We did.
Nothing like the federal government playing in your sandbox to mess everything up. But, you know, overall for us, you know, Raleigh is a really migratory market. We have so many people, just like you all in Texas, so many people want to call our state home and our city home that we're fortunate to be propped up. And we are a mostly primary home resident, our primary resident home place. So, so we, you know, still have a constant migration. We still have people who have to move. So we definitely felt a little bit of dip in the market. I think our market was down about 30% year over year. In 2023, our team was up about 15%, which is a testament to the skill sets and knowledge base and really how we take care of our clients, that we're starting to capture market share just because of doing our job at a really high level and delivering results for our clients.
Well, let's talk about that a little, Gretchen. You know, 100%, you're having amazing results. You're 15% up in a market that a lot of people are saying is a down market. That's obviously because of what you do there, and you being the top of the food chain there. That's because of you, right? It's because of you and your influence over your team. You've created this environment that helps your people have great success, and you're here killing it in an industry where a lot of people aren't having that same luck. But it's not luck. It's activity. It's the things that you're doing, right?
Yes, it is. Luck is relative, right? Luck takes a lot of persistence, and you got to have done all the work and be in the right place at the right time in order for luck to really be able to happen. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I do think. It is me, but it is the team of people that I work with. I'm so fortunate every day to get to come to work and do something that I love to do, that I'm extremely passionate about, right? Like, I'm so passionate about helping people live their life in the way that they want to. And I think home is such an important piece of that. And my team is passionate about that. So I'm lucky to get to be surrounded with people who want to really execute at a high level for our clients, deliver results, and they also want to deliver results for each other. I mean, you guys, you work together, when it comes to matching personalities and such, you need to have people who can help in all different ways, shapes, and forms. You need diversity. You need a lot of different things on your team to make it function for all people. But what you really need is culture. And so what I think we have built on this team is a culture of we are all in it together. We are all out for one mission, and we're going to deliver, and we're competitive as all get out. And sometimes a little bit of I'm not going to let somebody beat me is a great way to win, right?
100%. I love it. And I love that you said passion. Passion's our number 2 core value, and only behind family, because
that's why I like you.
Well, we like you too.
Mm-hmm.
We like you too. But put passion in every single thing that you do, right? That's what it's all about. You've come to work with a passionate heart and a passionate. You're going to have infectious, infectious passion that everybody's going to absorb upon, and that's how you create great success together. It's the culture, and the culture is driven by the passion and the love of what you do. And that's again just another testament to who you are and what you've built there. Because I know you're giving credit to the team, and you should, because we know your team is also amazing as well, right? But when you step back and look at it, you built that, right? You built that.
I did,
You handpicked each one of these people to represent you because you saw something in them, right? That inspired you and said, this is somebody who I can have represent our vision. Because at the end of the day, every great organization starts with somebody who has a vision. And that in this situation, that vision is yours, right? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's my crazy delusional, let's go do something that everybody says we can't possibly do, and let's see how that works out for us. And it's amazing how if you're willing to work hard, you're passionate, just like you said, and you're going to do the activities, like success just comes. Like it's a symptom of all of those things, right?
So, I love it.
So what's that team look like, Gretchen? How many people are on your team?
So we have 15 agents on the team right now, and we have 9 staff. So on our team, I don't like to work alone. I am a team person. I am a collaborator. I love the buzz of energy, and I thrive in chaos. And so I built this team to take care of everything that I was terrible at. So I didn't like to write paperwork. I didn't like to do scheduling and those kinds of things. So we built the team very organically. I didn't set out to do it, but I knew I didn't want to work alone. So we started with an assistant who then became a buyer's agent, and we hired another assistant. And so we really just built the team to fill the gaps of my inadequacies and support me. Now the team is built to really handle what our clients need. And I like control a lot, and I believe in a very controlled client experience. And those of us who are exceptional agents, and you probably feel this in your industry, exceptional agents are really good at a few key things, and they're really not good at the rest of the stuff. Right. So if you bring an agent in and you let an agent do what they do best, and you support them in every other way, then that agent can grow really fast. They can build a great business, and they can deliver an exceptional client experience. And the clients trust you to refer you because they know that that's a predictable model. And so that's really what we've tried to do. So we have a lot of payroll, but I think our clients benefit from that, and our agents do too.
Well, Amen to that, right? You talk about wisdom, and a lot of pro tips just got popped out here, right? Number one thing you said was activity, and I'll go back to that because your activity is what's going to control your future. And if you're doing the right activity, the success just comes along with it. It's a symptom of the success. I love that, right? But the other thing that you talked about is the layering of how your team goes to work for you. And, you're confident enough in yourself to be able to talk about your inadequacies because we all have them, right? Most people in this industry and in most industries say, no, I'm going to do it myself because, I'm the only one that can do this thing. And, our mentor always talks about the fact that you start to come across looking like a one-man band, right? And what's a one-man band? It's a novelty, right?
Yeah.
You're beating the drums and playing the harmonica and, you're trying to do all these things at once, right? And that's what this industry demands of us, right? But that's a novelty, right? Who's going to make more money? The guy that's the one-man band on the side of the street trying to do it himself, or the conductor who brings in the symphony and teaches each one of them to do the things that he doesn't know how to do or she doesn't know how to do, right? And then conducts that symphony from the top and creates great success together. And that's how great organizations are made. And that's how your great organization was built.
Yeah, it really is. It comes down to we're a group of professionals, right? But for some reason, real estate agents and sometimes lenders, we don't get classified that way, right? Like I don't know why that is. And I guess it's just public opinion and society and such, but we are a professional industry and real estate is a luxury service. And in what other professional industry is there not a triage nurse or somebody who, goes through your portfolio and assesses what all your pieces of wealth are before they put you in front of the person who's going to help you help advise you on it. So, if we consider ourselves true advisors, right, we can't do everything because, and our clients today, I don't think demand that. I think our clients want to work with someone who has systems and people and processes in place who are going to ensure that all of their needs are addressed, right? Don't you agree?
100%.
Well, Gretchen, you said something about, which is a pro tip. So we get coached by a company called the Marketing Animals or the Freedom Club. So part of our coaching program, one of the very first things we do is what's called Acts of Freedom. What do you like doing and what you don't like doing? And guess what? It's as you shift to the program, you concentrate your days on what you love to do and you offer what you don't like to do. Because last time I checked, real estate was a 24/7 business, 7 days a week, which a lot of people don't realize.
Well, let's explore that a little bit more too. It starts with the DISC assessment, because one of the things that we found, and I assume you probably utilize in this your business too, is the DISC is going to lead you to people and their strengths and weaknesses, right? So when you know that somebody's strong suit is sales, we want to have them focused on certain activities, but we know they're better with organization. We want to have those people focused on that activity as well, right? So at the end of the day, then it goes down to the acts of freedom, like David talked about, where you start to designate, hey, we're going to put this person in this position because they're better here. But more importantly, it's not just that they're better at it. They love doing it. They thrive to do that. It's something they actually enjoy. When you look at that piece of work, you go, I hate this part of the job. I don't want to do this. This is terrible. Why do I have to do this, right? And you put the right person in there and they go, this is the best job in the world. I absolutely love what I'm doing. And that's what you're talking about, is putting the right pieces in the right place, but doing it with actual thought process behind it, right? Utilizing DISC assessments and looking and analyzing it. Who's going to make that position the best it can possibly be? That transitions to the borrower, because the client experience is really what it's all about, right? And we want that client to have the best experience from start to finish. And Gretchen, that's what you and your team are doing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no second, right? It's either 5-star or nothing.
Yeah, that's 100% right. So let's talk about this a little bit. So we know you have a thriving team. Again, I've seen your numbers, and it's impressive. It's frankly, it's very impressive. But let's take this back to the beginning. So when you first got started, how did that look? Right? Did you jump in?
I love that you asked that, because I think in the advent of content creation, social media, we all judge ourselves against the person who's at the top, right? When that person at the top climbed the ladder, one ring at a time, oftentimes coated in oil, but we did it. So I think it's important for you to look at people in every trajectory of their career. So I was a finance major. I did an internship on Wall Street. And I said to myself, this was back in the day, I'm going to date myself, I'm 48 years old, where we cold called out of a phone book, and we sat with our desk at a brick wall, and it was boiler room. And I said, if I ever get out of here, I will never do this for a living. And I did. I came back to Charlotte, and I really liked open houses. I enjoyed it. And so I met someone who said, you'd probably be really good at this. Maybe you should think about doing it. And I was like, I don't want to go sit in a house and, sell stuff to people. And he said, well, I make a couple $100,000 a year doing that. And I was like, well, what I need
What's
to do?
this house I need to sit in?
What kind of house am I going to sit in? And so I went and got my real estate license, and I went around and did interview after interview because I wanted to go into on-site sales. That was the only kind of real estate I knew. Like, my family never owned a house. I'd never owned a house. Like, I never understood how you go buy a house or sell a house or anything like that because I grew up in poverty. So I interviewed after interviewed, but I had no experience other than waiting tables and bartending and, this internship that I did on Wall Street. And so nobody would hire me. And finally I got an in, and the guy looked at me, and he was in Charlotte. He said, you're not going to make it 6 months. And I said, just give me a chance. And he did. And I worked 7 days a week for the first 6 months, and I made almost no money because he kept putting me in these little neighborhoods that would have 4 or 5 houses. They were up on a hill. When you parked your car, it looked like this, right? Like, it's like, go sell those and then I'll give you something else. And so I did that, and I still had to bartend 5 nights a week because I had to live. I didn't have a backstop. And I just worked. And the one thing that he did, he gave me 2 gifts. The first gift was he told me I couldn't do it and I wasn't going to make it. And over my dead body was I going to fail. And number 2, the other gift he said was 80% of your success in this business is showing up, having your butt in the chair, and turning on the lights. And I was like, okay, that's pretty simple. I can do it. And so I worked every day, and they would put a partner in there or somebody who would compete against me, and I'd just get to work earlier and stay later so that if anybody walked in, I'd get them. And I did that on site through that company, and within 18 months, I was agent of the year in the entire market of Charlotte because I wasn't going to fail and I was going to show up. Nothing was going to get on my calendar that was going to bog me down because I didn't have any other way. And a lot of times, success comes out of absolute desperation and intention to beat the system. And I didn't understand what that was at the time, but that's what I did. I didn't have an alternative to fail. So I had to work my way out of it. And I did. And I ended up staying on site for 12 years. And after the recession in 2008, 9, 10, I just had to take a break because I had been in on-site sales. It had been a horrific thing. And I went and built a fitness business for 4 years. And then I came back into general brokerage in 2016. So the team that I've built has really started since 2016.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? It just shows drive and determination, right, will create success. The person that's willing to put in the work, despite the results, because sometimes it takes a lot of work to get the success to start to happen. And at the end of the day, the person that sees this as an opportunity and says, I will not fail, right? I will stand up and I will do what it takes to get the job done. And then you turn around and you create something like this. And I know you said you didn't really start that process until 16, but the reality was all that experience that you gained before that's what led you becoming the leader that you are today. And that's what we have to use.
Totally. You build it, right? Like, you're right. It takes determination, it takes drive, and it takes you being willing to do the work with seeing no result. Because if you're a quitter, you're a quitter, right? You're going to quit at everything. But if you're willing to, even in the moments when you don't believe in yourself, you show up for yourself and you're there when people walk in, your chances infinitely go up. And you just have to have the staying power. And for me, the staying power was I was making cash bartending. You know what I mean? So I could make it work. But I thrived on no sleep, and I was at work at 9, and I stayed at work until midnight sometimes. So it's all of it combined. And then when I came into general brokerage in 2016, I knew I didn't want to work alone. My entire career, I'd had assistants, and so I had a girl who was working in my house helping me do some things with personally and with my fitness business. And she said, I don't really want to do this job anymore. And I said, well, funny you say that, because I'm thinking I'm going back into real estate. Have you ever thought about going into real estate? And she said, I'll take a look at it. She ended up coming to work with me. So I worked alone for about 4 months, and then she came and was an assistant for me, but she wouldn't let me pay her because she knew there was no money coming in. And so she kind of gambled on me, and I gambled on her, and we grew together this business. She's my yin, I'm the yang, I'm the out front, loud, obnoxious, fun, get it done. And she is the systems, organization, empathetic, nurturing person. And together, we built this whole thing together. And it was built on blood, sweat, and tears, man.
I get it.
Gretchen, what a great story, because I know, looking at you and everybody that looks at your brokerage and you being the leader, everybody probably thinks you're an overnight success. She just willed her way overnight, and she was successful, and she was so lucky. But what I hear is 20 years of hard work,
dedication,
a lot of hours, a lot of nothing. That's perseverance.
I will tell you this. I am 23 years into my career. I have 3 children. I have a 21-year-old. I have twins that are 17. There is no 20-year-old that will outwork me, ever. Even to this day, I will die on the sword to beat you. Like that's just that. So when it comes down to it, I still work really hard, just like y'all 100%. Still work really hard.
Absolutely.
I just work really different. But when I'm needed, I'm there. Period.
Well, like Raleigh, are y'all hearing this? If you're looking for real estate, y'all better be calling Gretchen.
They already are. They already are.
God, what a great testimonial.
Yeah.
I will deliver. And I think that is the key to success, right? When you show up every day in life and you show up for your clients, they're going to show up for you.
That's right.
Business comes from that.
And the people that work with you too, because they look to you and they know here's somebody that's holding themselves accountable every single day, right? And they strive to have that same type of excellence. They want to be amongst you because they feel your passion.
Yeah.
Right? They feel your energy, and they want to be a part of that, right?
I hope so, because I tell you, the day that I stop wanting to deliver, it's over.
It's not happening.
I'm going off to the sunset in Barbados or do something on the beach, because there's no reason. Like, life is short, man. We only got a few turns around the sun, and I want to be happy and have fun and do things that I love. And the moment that it becomes where I'm like, you know what, I'm not taking that 9 o'clock phone call because I don't want to deal with it, then that's a problem.
Well, let's talk about that. 23 years in business. I know hundreds of transactions because we've seen it.
In a year, hundreds in a year. We're talking thousands of transactions.
Yeah.
What's the one transaction? Because I know there's a lot that probably means a lot, but what's the one transaction that really means the most to you, where you say, this is why I'm real estate. This is why I do what I do. This is why I continue to do what I do. Is there one that stands out?
There's so many of them at this point in my career. But, I shared a little bit of this with Devin in our pre-call that, I grew up in poverty, and my mom never owned a house, and we were evicted and kicked out and never really had anything that of substantial value. And all I really wanted was a place where was consistent, that I could bring friends home to, and I could make memories. And in my younger years, I felt that, but I didn't know how to articulate it. So for me, the most important people are the people who, the single mother who thought she could never own a house by herself because her husband divorced her and this and that. And, we're able to help her figure out how to get her situation in line so that she could afford a place for her child to grow up and not be bounced around, to be able to create memories in a neighborhood where they could have friends and family. And I think, we lose sight as we grow in our careers and we grow in our finances. We lose sight that there are people out there every day who just want a place where their kids can have the same friends, where they can get invited to happy hours. And, and so those kinds of transactions, the first time home buyers, the ones who feel like they were never going to be homeowners, those are the ones that are the most meaningful. And another one is new construction. We do a lot of new construction in Raleigh. My husband's a real estate developer. So being able to drive through a neighborhood where when I started that neighborhood, it was a piece of land and I helped brand it and I helped pick the floor plans out. And I drive through there 5-10 years later and I see kids playing soccer in the front yard or on their bikes. And I think to myself, those kids are making lifelong friends and lifelong memories. And I had a fractional piece of creating this, whether it was through the sales process or through the design, that lights me up. And I love building that kind of stuff. And I love building neighborhoods. I love building people. I love building teams because I like to see what comes of that, like the alchemy that comes from it.
You know what I hear there, Gretchen, is the childhood that you never had.
Yeah.
Is the driving force for everything that you do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What you're doing is truly selfless. And some people may not always look at it that way, but it's selfless because the enjoyment you get is out of giving hundreds, if not thousands of people the opportunity that you never had.
100%.
And you give it back 100%. Every single day.
Every day.
Business.
And we have a guy on our team. His name is Jalen. He joined our team about 6 months ago, and he came into the interview, really attractive African-American guy. And my sales manager said, "Jalen, why do you want to sell houses?" And he said, "Because, I grew up seeing pink slips on the doors, and I just wanted to be a part of putting people in houses instead of kicking people out of houses." And he had been in property management. So, it all comes full circle, and now I'm bringing people to me who have that same drive and desire, which is amazing.
You're attracting them there. I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored to get a chance to sit here and hear your story. It's amazing. And it's amazing because of how selfless it is, but it's also because of what you've created, right?
Yeah.
You go from, having poverty and not necessarily having a stable living to building homes and being a part of that and connecting people, connecting the underdog, right?
Yeah.
To the American dream. And that's what you do. That's what you do, girl.
Yeah. That's it. And it's fun, so there's that side of it, but then there's also, the side of it where, we all have horrific transactions, right?
Sure.
The most, and I tell my team this all the time, the hardest people that there are to work with are the ones that teach you to be better and to up level. And so sometimes the most rewarding transactions that I experience are the ones that are the hardest to either put together, hold together, keep together, whatever it is. You never forget those people, right? Because usually by the end of it, if you've done a good job and you've had integrity and you've been honest, they respect you and you respect them.
You keep hitting our core values: family, passion, integrity. Those are our core values that we have here at the Dubuc team, right? That's part of our overall vision. Again, like-hearted and like-minded.
I like that. Like-hearted. Like-hearted and like-minded. That's a good one.
Tagline. That's our tagline. The other one we've got going on right now, and I think you'll love this one, is doing more in 24, right?
Yeah.
We're focused on doing bigger and better things in 24. And that's not just from a production standpoint. I'm pretty confident when I ask this next question, you're going to say that you're doing the same thing. But My focus with our team is to always strive to do better than what we did the day before, not the year before, the day before. How do we consistently evolve and get better with what we do to create great successes for the people that we serve?
Yeah.
And the people we serve aren't just the homeowners, it's the people we employ and helping enrich them so they can enrich their lives and their families' lives, right? That's really what it's all about.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's huge, just incremental improvements, right? Like everybody wants to go change, they want to flip the whole script, right? If they want to lose weight, they're going to do everything. They're going to quit drinking, quit smoking, quit having caffeine. They're going to eat all whole foods. They're going to work out every day. Well, they can't do all of that at once.
Right.
Right? So
One
it's
step at a time.
Little teeny things over time compound. And that is how it all is. That's the measure of success, right?
Wisdom after wisdom after wisdom. So let me ask you this question, and then we probably got to wrap up because I know you got stuff to do. But what are your plans with your business in 24? You've got to have some ideas as to where you plan to take things. What's on the agenda?
This is going to be like courageous, but in 2024, we're 15% ahead from last year, but we have had incremental growth, like sometimes 50%, sometimes 70% year over year. Yep. And people tell me the bigger you get, the harder it is to do that. Well, I want to grow the team by 50% in 2024, and we are on the trajectory to do that. So I would like our numbers to be over 200 million in 2024. And I hear all the noise about all the things, and I'm just putting all that noise aside, and I am dialing in on an executable plan. And everybody talks about going back to basics. Are y'all hearing that in your industry? Let's go back to basics. Well, if you got to go back to basics, you already messed up. Because if you're not staying in front of your people, and you talked about activity a lot, if you're not calling your people, doing your activity that generates business, and you're sitting on your laurels and you're patting yourself on the back for a job well done, you have failed. And so what we are doing is really dialing in on the activities that every single person needs to do in order to up level the team, up level themselves, and up level the experience. And so what are those activities? Super simple, right? This is not rocket science. The same stuff that worked 100 years ago works today. So we are calling 3 people a day from our past clients, our database, and people we want to do business with. And we're staying in front of them. We're writing handwritten notes. We're putting money into client appreciation parties. We are pouring more into our partnerships, like partnerships with mortgage companies and and stagers and attorneys, and we are making sure that they feel the love from us, and that we are telling them that we want their business. Not only do we want it, we want you to entrust us with it, and we're going to deliver for any referrals that you send us. And we're leaning into digital marketing. YouTube, podcasting, the types of things that get us direct in front of consumer are the things that have always worked, that will always work. So everybody's got a different assignment, but those are pretty much the overarching things where, we're picking up the phone and we're getting in front of our people knee to knee.
Do you believe her, David?
Well, if there was a Vegas thing and bet on Gretchen or not, I'm betting on Gretchen.
I'm betting all on Gretchen.
I'm with you. Let's spin that wheel. Let's go.
Ooh, I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, I definitely see a part 2 to this one. We need to have a follow-up at the end of the year because I already know you're going to hit that goal. The question is,
let's do it.
How much farther are you going to hit it than what you're expecting? Because you're 100% correct. It's all about the right activity, and everything that you're talking about, it goes back to that like-hearted, like-minded. Funny that we have the same business plan.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
I love it.
Who would have thought about that?
I
Well,
love it.
let's do it again. Y'all, I'll have y'all come on my podcast,
Let's do
but
it.
I got to get a little more professional before I have y'all come on. So,
Hey, you know what? We're happy to help you with that too. You know, if we could throw out
Yeah.
some tips on how we built ours in formatting, man, we'd love to do that. You know, we'd love to share with our partners.
Y'all have done an incredible job. You guys obviously are rock stars in your business, and I'm grateful to be affiliated with you. I'm grateful to be on here, and it's so serendipitous that we're on here together, and we are so like-minded. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, we're going to have to do a coin flip on who's more grateful here because at the end of the day, we're appreciative to have you
Yeah.
here. You're absolutely fantastic. And man, the energy that I feel coming out of this, guys, you got to watch the video version on this one. You're going to absolutely love Gretchen. So we can't have you here all day. Anything we should have asked you today that we did not?
I think we're good, man. Just how to find me. That's it.
Well, how do we find you? We know how to find you, but how do the people out there get in front of you?
So we are everywhere in Raleigh. You can reach us at thecoleygroup.com, COLEY group.com. They'll have it down here. I'm sure I don't need to spell it, but sorry, I'm just used to doing that. Our phone number is 919-526-0401. And we are on all the socials at Gretchen Coley Group. You'll find us
there
at that
it is,
handle.
guys. There it is. John, you know the assignment. Get that stuff in the lower thirds because the people need to know how to find Gretchen and her team. Well, Gretchen, it's been an absolute honor to have you here today. David, anything you want to say before we wrap up the show?
Yes, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Woo!
Call Gretchen Coley Group. And if you want Gretchen, just ask for her specifically. I'm sure she'll show you around Raleigh.
Absolutely, I will.
Absolutely great stuff. Well, again, guys, we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
And if you want to check us out, you can find us at realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. But come on over to the Dubuc team where you can find us on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. You're going to want to check out YouTube for the video on this one. And we love those 5-star reviews, and we'd love it if you comment. But until the next time, we will see you then.
Bye, guys.
See you later.